Hi, I'm Monique, and in this series of the NPW Spiritual Journey channel, we're talking to established psychics, mediums, and other spiritual practitioners about their first years on their spiritual journey. Today, I'm here with Candy Hozza. She is the founder of the Sacred Soul Map program, and she has been connected with the angels since 1996. She was introduced to Akashic Records in 2011, and today she's going to talk to us a little bit about that. Welcome, Candy.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Monique.
It's great to have you. Before we begin, can you tell us a little bit about what you do and your specialty?
Sure. I read from the modality called the Akashic Records. And what the Akashic Records are simply a database of your soul connected to divine source. It's a space of all wisdom, truth, knowledge, and most especially love.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about when you realized you were starting a spiritual journey. What did that feel like? Where were you in your head and in your life?
Well, I remember really distinctly, I was 36 years old and I was suffering with these pains that were coming into my body. And I had this pain in my foot and I couldn't walk very well. And this one day I couldn't walk at all. And I got stuck at home because, I worked full time at a university. And so I sat down on the sofa because that's the only thing I could do. And I put ice on my foot and I was developing, I think what was happening in life is I wasn't moving forward. I think that I was being pulled to move forward in different directions. So I was watching a TV show and it was, the show was entitled, it was like a daytime talk show, and it was all about how everybody can talk to their angels. So I went and I bought all 3 books and I read them. And as I started to read them, my mother became very sick and was starting to pass away. And so, and I was just reading my books, about how to do this. And they told me that she would pass. And I usually don't get like serious or sad information, but I know now that they were trying to protect me because I don't know if I would have been able to deal with it if I didn't have them by my side. And that's kind of how my journey started. I was just reading for myself and I was utilizing the angels.
It feels like to me, it would have felt like a relief to have that kind of support. Is that what you felt? What was going through your mind?
I was so grateful because, I had great faith, but losing your mother, like if I would have known that, at the time, if I wouldn't have had that faith and connection with my angels, I don't know what I would have done, and I remember right after she passed, I didn't know that I was a medium or had that ability, but I distinctly remember saying, "Mommy, are you there?" And she said, "Honey, I have such beautiful wings and I live in this beautiful crystal palace," because that's what I wanted. And my mom was very humble, but I know if she could have a crystal palace with big, beautiful wings, she would. And my girlfriend at the time was a really well-known intuitive psychic. I mean, she did readings for some major, major clients. And I didn't have those abilities back then. And she said to me, "Your mom is with me." And she's saying, "I still have my big, beautiful wings," but she's not explaining it. So that was probably one of the first affirmations that I got, that what I was hearing and seeing was real.
It was real, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And so what were some of the obstacles that you might have had with that? Because it's like I can understand that the kind of validation that provides for you, but how do you keep moving forward and not giving up on your journey? And what did that feel like? And what were some of those obstacles?
Well, in the beginning, I didn't know what to do with this gift. And I was just using it for myself. And then when my mom passed, my one uncle, he just loved my mom so much. And he said, "Do you think you could talk to her?" And at the time, this is all these years ago, I had just got this little old laptop computer. I think they were like, it was on sale for $800, which back then they were like 3,000 or something. And one of the modalities the angels really liked back then, which they don't like as much now, was utilizing the computer because their thoughts are so quick and I type quickly. So they enjoyed that. So he said, can I talk to your mom? And his heart was so grief stricken that my heart just went into it. And I pulled out the computer and I started to type. And he said, why do you keep like hitting the back key? And I said, because for some reason I keep typing Ralpho instead of Ralph. And he started to cry. I said, what's wrong, Uncle Ralph? And he said, when your mom and I were together in the kitchen sitting at the table, she always called me Ralpho and nobody knew that. And so for him, that was his affirmation. And then I never did that again for another 20 years for anybody, because I didn't know I could.
Wow, that's amazing.
Or I didn't believe I could. I didn't believe in myself. So I know that, Monique, a lot of people are going to be listening to this. And the biggest thing that I want to share with them is trust. Trust and know that people are praying for you right now to show up.
That's great. So that's great advice for those who are in their journey and just getting started. Would you give any other advice beyond trust?
Yes, I would say education. I would educate yourself as much as possible and listen to who to go to and who not to go to. So, one of the things when you're working with the energy of spirit is just to stay very humble and very clean in spirit when you're doing your work. When I was first introduced to the Akashic records, somebody was reading for me because I didn't know I could read. And then I went through a training program, and it was so easy for me to read. But my guides and I had this really big fight because the first time I opened my own records, they said, you are going to be standing on stage, speaking about the Akashic records and doing readings for other people. And I said, oh, no, I am not. And if you could see me, I was sitting in my living room by myself having a major disagreement with my guides. And so I'm like, no way. It's too much of a responsibility. And what if I'm wrong? And, I had all these questions, and it took me forever to step into what I do. So.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. Thank you so much, Candy, for sharing your journey with us and for everyone watching. If someone wanted to reach out to you for services, how could they do that?
You could go to www.candysoulreadings.com. And also, if you would like my free meditation that was channeled, it's also on that website under free meditation.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And I will make sure that information gets in the description as well. And for those watching, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you enjoyed that video, please like and subscribe.